Christmas, Mr. Speaker, and to everyone in the House, particularly also to our farming, food, hospitality and water sectors this Christmas. But not everyone will be able to celebrate Christmas. In recent weeks, a farmer took himself off to a remote part of his farm and killed himself. The message he left his family, who wished to remain anonymous, is that he did this because he feared becoming a financial burden to his family because of changes to inheritance tax. This is the human cost of the figures that the Secretary of State provides so casually. What does the Secretary of State say to that grieving family?
Secretary of State.
I send my heartfelt sympathies to that family, but I think it is irresponsible in the extreme to seek to weaponise a personal tragedy of that kind in this way. Where there is mental ill health, then there needs to be support for that, and this government is investing in it. She knows from the last year for which data is available that the vast majority of claimants will pay absolutely nothing following the changes to APR.
Victoria Atkins.
How heartless, and also how extraordinary that the Secretary of State is more discomforted by being presented with the facts of the consequences of his policy than the reality of what this policy ensures. I can say, Mr. Speaker, I was a minister for 7.5 years. I've never, ever seen a policy have the consequences that this one has. But we know that there is a tragically, and they are now, members of the public will see the members opposite reacting in that way because I've dared to present the facts to them. We know that there is a tragically high suicide rate amongst the farming community. The NFU gave evidence about this. The Secretary of State has been told repeatedly. Will he collect data on a monthly basis of suicides from farmers, farming families, landowners and family businesses, so that we, the House and the outside community, can understand the human costs of this tax policy before it comes into force?
Mental health services are the responsibility of the National Health Service, and the former Health Secretary who broke the NHS is in no position to lecture anybody about public services. She was no friend of the health services, no friend of the mental health services, and she is no friend of farming. 12,000 farms went bust on their watch. They failed to get £300,000 out of the doors and into the pockets and bank accounts of farmers, and they signed a trade deal with Australia that undercut British farmers on environmental and welfare standards. I hear the posturing. It is this government that is standing up for farming.
Victoria Atkins is the Shadow Secretary of State for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs. Recently, she has been vociferous in her campaign against the new inheritance tax on behalf of the farmers. She is a fierce debater, but is her argument correct in this instance? The response was a reprimand from Steve Reed, the Minister of State for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs. Was she right to use this poor farmer's suicide as a point of argument during this debate? We can move on to what Shaun Davies, a Labour MP, says about this serious topic of male suicide rates on October the 16th. Please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps us grow and we very much appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In Britain, the biggest killer of men under 50 is suicide. We have some of the worst paternity leave in Europe, and boys are 50% less likely than girls to pursue higher education. I know that my right honourable friend takes this very seriously, and his commitment on reducing suicide rates is very welcome. Can the Prime Minister update the House on this work, and does he agree with me that it is vital that we tackle these issues head-on because of the increasing alienation and mental health issues amongst young men?
I thank him for raising this vital issue. The statistics on male suicide are truly shocking. I went to an event just a few years ago here in this place where everyone in attendance was asked if they had lost someone to suicide, and I then reflected on my own experience, which was profound, as it was, I could see, for everybody across the room, and will be across this House. So reducing deaths from suicide is a vital part of our health mission. We're recruiting an additional 8,500 mental health workers, specially trained to support people at risk of suicide, to provide faster treatment and ease pressure on our services.